Hi everybody, I'm Lad, this is my dad, and today we're doing something a little special. Not sponsored, by the way. This was just something I was really curious and interested about, and I thought we'd kind of give it a little look. So this is Sentia Spirits. They're not alcohol, but it's meant to mimic the effects of alcohol, but not give you a hangover. Really weird, really interesting. Obviously, I kind of figured, well, we're avid drinkers, we enjoy a good drink, but we've also had our fair share of different hangovers, and I thought it was totally worth checking out.
Absolutely.
So let me just kind of tell you a couple little interesting points about it, because obviously, how does it work and all that. So this uses something called Gaba. I don't know exactly what Gaba stands for, but it's alcoholic free, very different from all the other non-alcoholic spirits, which are purely for flavor. It's looking to give us the good effects. I know it was developed by Professor David Nutt, who co-founded Gaba Labs, want to make all this. It's very interesting, along with Vanessa Jacobi. She's a botanical alchemist and plant craft specialist.
Botanical alchemist.
Yeah, it's a pretty fancy title, if you ask me. So it says, so apparently GABA is an activity in the brain, which is what gives you the pleasurable effects, the beneficial, as they like to say. So it improves things like sociability and relaxation, which I'd say that's pretty true. Whenever you're drinking, you feel quite relaxed. You feel a lot more sociable. You get very comfortable with people around you and things like that.
Yeah.
But then obviously it has the negative effects of it can affect your memory. It could give you a headache. It gives you cravings, things like that. In some people, it can be irritability, violence, nausea, vomiting, just to kind of name a few things. And obviously, too much alcohol can also cause death. Naturally, it's a big important thing. PSA at the same time. And so that's I thought I was slipping down. And obviously alcohol has been studied for many years, and so GABA is supposed to be one of the it's because I don't really know how to explain it, because GABA is the good parts that give you the great feelings of drinking alcohol, which is why they really focus on this specific blend of things to trigger those effects in you without giving you all the negative side effects of actually drinking alcohol. And it literally says Centia precisely targets GABA activity in the brain, and unlike some of us, GABA knows when to call it a night, which is how Centia gives you that sweet spot feeling of relaxation and sociability and holds the feeling right there. But luckily, they've got some recipes which we're going to try out. I'm probably going to first try it neat, just kind of get an idea what the flavor profile is going to be. Would you also like to try it neat, or do you want to go for a
no, we'll do
mix right way? Okay. Let me go ahead and do we want to do red or black? That's the question.
Oh,
I think the red one will probably be sweeter.
Yeah.
Whereas the black one might be a bit more spiced and peppery, maybe more like a Captain Morgan spiced rum in a way.
Well, let's try I'm up for the black.
I think you want to try the black. Okay.
Yeah.
In which case I'll try the red, and then we can both try it at the same time.
Okay.
All right.
Just need some shot glasses or something. Right?
Yeah.
Or just glasses. Should do it.
Oh yeah. I might as well just go get them then.
Yeah.
Just get some glasses. We'll get these open, and we'll go for it.
That's it. Let's look. Gaba. I'm sure that stands for something. GA, brain activity. I'm sure. That's what I'm going to guess.
What do you think it stands for?
Well, GABA sounds like BA sounds like brain activity because it's talking about brain activity. Isn't it? You mentioned it a few times. So it may be GA, General Administrative, or not.
The General Administration of Brain Activity. Yeah.
Brain activity. maybe generic.
Oh, maybe.
Augmented. I don't know.
Well, it might be somewhere. They keep using GABA, but yet again, it's like, okay, I'll trust what you guys are saying. It says Professor David Nutt. He's been working on this kind of stuff for 40 years, a long time. So
so it should be good.
I feel like I could trust somebody who's been doing something for 40 years.
Well,
yourself included. You've been working with IT for
a good amount. Well, yeah, close to that.
So I would still say we treat it like a typical shot.
Yeah. I'm crazy.
I'll tell you what, it smells alright.
Yeah, it's got kind of it's a bit of a Jägermeister kind of smell to it.
Yours is a bit more Jaeger. Mine is luckily. Oh no, it's a little Jaegery, but I suppose Jaeger's made with like it's essentially a medicine at the end of the day.
Yeah, well, it certainly tastes
just with alcohol in it. Yeah. Because I think that was one of the original reasons for Jägermeister. It was supposed to be kind of like a cough syrupy kind of thing.
Well, and it has got properties which are, I know
medicinal
for a fact
in nature. Yeah.
It settles your stomach, so the first time I had Jägermeister was in Phuket many years ago.
That was the first time you had it?
25 years ago. No, 25 years ago.
Oh, right.
That's the first time I went to Phuket.
Right.
And it was at a German bar.
Only 25 years ago, though?
Yeah.
Wow, so not even when you were younger? Well,
No,
was it not around?
It was around, but
Because I thought it was like at least like 100 years or something.
Oh, it's been around. It's just I never really drank it or got exposed to it.
I got you.
But on that occasion, I just happened to be drinking in a German bar in Phuket, of all places. And the barman, he was saying to me, because I had a few lagers and I was starting to feel a bit queasy, and he was saying, "No, come on, carry on drinking." I said, "No, I'm queasy." He said, "Look, I've got just a thing for you. Have a shot of Jaeger." I said, "Oh, I don't think I like that. I don't like shots." And he said, "No, have a shot of Jaeger." And I tried it, and it settled my stomach. So I could carry on drinking lager. And then again, I got queasy after more lagers, so I shot Jaeger in between.
That's something I had.
And I was very, very drunk at the end of the night.
I'll tell you what, that's something else to try, because I know, especially on beer, I definitely get quite queasy. You know, I mean, it's nothing horrendous. It's not like I'm all spewy, but it's just, you feel nauseous and you're like, I don't really want to do anything now, kind of thing.
That's always out for you, which is not necessarily a good thing.
No. Oh, cheers.
Cheers.
See how this is. It tastes kind of like mulled wine.
Yeah.
Does mine. But like soft mulled wine.
Yeah.
Kind of nice.
That's better than this then, because this tastes like...
Here. Should we swap?
Yeah, swap, yeah. It tastes... I don't even want to say it's got kind of a burny sensation to it. So
definitely,
coming through.
Definitely peppery smoky, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's an odd flavour. You don't know, get on with it. Well, that's got some of the same... stuff going on with that.
Well, it's less burny as that one. This I know. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Smoky, kind of burny. Yeah, it's quite peppery. You're right. It is very pepper heavy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But not in like a horrendous way. I'd say it's more. I don't know. It's definitely front palate.
I don't think I can drink it neat. Like that.
Well, no. I wanted to at least like kind of get an idea of what it's supposed to taste like on its own, anyway.
Yeah, but it does taste like. Alcohol. It tastes like that's got a
it's definitely got like the simulated effects of like drinking any kind of, well, not any kind, spirits mainly.
Yeah.
So it's definitely mimicked it for sure. But yet again, it lists it as a Sentia Spirit, even though it's yet again, like, you can even check it. It's not even caffeine in it, vegan and everything, just alcohol free, gluten free as well. And that's good.
Well,
so if you're vegan and gluten free, and no GMOs and no caffeine, this is safe for you. Fair trade as well. Look at that. That's nice.
Don't taste like it. Don't taste like it's safe. But anyway.
No, it does not taste like it's safe. It does taste like an alcohol in a way. Yeah.
But okay, that's a good start.
That's a good start. But then so I know they said on their website they say, on the bottles it says we shouldn't have more than 100 ml, but on their website, according to Professor David Nutt, he says 200 ml is what they tested, and that's been fine. So okay. I'm happy to go there. Yeah. See how I'm kind of feeling. Probably not going to go too mad. I mean, I don't know what the worst case could happen be if you were to drink the whole thing. I don't think I'm going to drink the whole thing.
I don't think I'm going to do that.
No.
How many milliliters have we had now?
Well,
what do you say?
Hopefully 25, maybe a little less, really. I don't feel like it was a full-on shot, but it was still pretty good for what it was. So their signature is 25 ml of Centia with premium tonic. I do have tonic water. I wouldn't call it premium, but I do have tonic, so that is totally an option.
Give it a shot.
Yeah, so that might be next. So I'll go ahead and get the tonic.
Bring on the tonic.
Yeah, you're on for a decent amount of it. I'm trying to think. I might try it with the black.
Right, well, I'll try it with the red.
Okay.
Do a switcheroo here.
Yeah.
I prefer the red.
The red, slightly. I would say, is definitely nicer, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's just more gentle.
So a little.
But it definitely makes me think of mulled wine.
Is it?
Yeah. But like I said, in kind of a soft way, because mulled wine can be fairly full of flavour. But I think the red wins at the moment when it comes to just straight up flavour.
Yeah.
Alright, that says 3 parts tonic. Just imagine that'll make it taste a little nicer. It does look a bit more gentle.
Yeah.
I would use ice, but we don't have ice, so just is what it is, you know. But luckily these have been chilled, so I'm gonna say that's looking almost like a fizzy Vimto.
Isn't it?
It's looking pretty good.
Quite tasty.
Yeah. Mine just kind of looks like a dark, murky water.
Yeah, or a sarsaparilla.
Smells better though, I've got to say.
Oh, it's quite nice.
Oh.
Definitely better than straight.
Mm. That does make quite a difference. The pepperiness has really died down now.
Yeah.
Mm. Still get a bit of the smoke, but the tonic really kind of helps cut into it. Weirdly, yeah, I don't know where that pepperiness has gone. It's really just disappeared now. That is so interesting.
You can try some of that.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It looks nice. Ooh.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
It's a lot better.
That's really fascinating. Just very, very different flavours all of a sudden.
Yeah. But that's you could get on with that. I could drink a couple of these.
So I guess this is their signature, but yet again, it just makes me think of a mock gin and tonic. But a lot of their recipes are fairly similar. It's just a mock version of a typical drink. So I've got like a ginger beer and stuff for dark and stormy.
Yeah.
I think you can make like an espresso martini and everything. Negroni. They've got a Centia sour. There's literally a whole massive just amount of
different
mock recipes just using Centia instead. And I'm like, it's very interesting that you've made a spirit that can essentially be any other spirit. I think that's a huge draw as well. Because then you're like, oh, okay, I don't really know what I want tonight. Well, you can even just pick up a simple tonic and mix it, and it makes a massive difference. I got to say, very pleased with that.
It's all right.
Oh,
It definitely feels like you're drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
Now, is it going to give us the effects of alcohol? That's the thing.
Well, no, exactly. That's part of the reason why we're testing it. Because, I mean, yeah, this is nice, but I want to see if it makes me feel like I've probably had a drink or two at one point. Yeah, because I don't know how strong it's going to feel. I don't know the difference. But yet again, I know some people online have said you'll feel it. You know, you'll kind of feel a bit drunkish, but not like horrendously drunk or anything. But eventually it will kind of just wear down and wear off. And I'm like, well, that's quite interesting. So you don't even have like the full overnight kind of motions that you go through, which is
of just still being drunk.
Yeah. Because I mean, if this gives me the jollies without having to go through a full 24 hours of potentially dealing with hangover as well, then I'm quite interested.
Good. Well, I should be normally. I suffer now that I'm older. Hangovers are much worse. I've never had headache hangovers really, unless I drink lots of red wine. That sometimes can give me a headache.
I definitely get that.
So I was drinking yesterday. So I drank a few pints last night, and I think that I should. Ordinarily, what would happen on that level of drinking is I would start to feel rough in the afternoon, the following afternoon, usually around tea time. So around about now I should be feeling pretty crappy, but I'm not really. And the bizarre thing about that, well, I think the reason for that is we finished a bit earlier than I normally finish, so we wrapped up around about 10 o'clock, which is when we was kicking out time at the Red Goat.
Okay. Well,
bizarrely enough.
A weirdly sensible time for a Friday night.
Yeah.
That is really strange.
So
but I guess they're a bar second and everything else first, aren't they? Kind of a place.
Yes, I suppose. But I'm sure we were there. I'm sure that was like a Monday or Tuesday night, and
it was a speed quiz as well. Yeah, I don't remember what time we left.
I felt like it was a bit later than that, but I could be
maybe. I guess it depended on the quiz, so it could have been tied to that. I guess if they don't have an event going on, they wrap up when they feel.
Yeah, when it's quiet. There's not many people around. So.
Yeah, and it's more of a student hub anyway, so it's different rules, isn't it? Different rules.
Right. So I left. Normally I might finish around midnight or a little bit later. So I finished early. That's one thing. And then I had a really, really good night's sleep. So and well into the morning. So helps. Normally if I wake up, I might have 8 hours or something like that, and then I get up and try to kind of get through the day, and it hits me a bit later in the day, and it didn't do today because I had a nice lie-in and had lots of rest.
But so you say your typical hangover doesn't really have headachy effects, it's more maybe lethargic and maybe a bit sluggish. What about like any level of nausea and queasiness?
I might be a bit queasy, but it's more on the mental side. It's more kind of just feeling miserable. Feeling
I definitely get that.
muddy headed, and also just feeling a bit depressed, I suppose, these days. And that's a fairly new thing. It's only in the later years that I've started to get that feeling. Kind of
I get that.
Really gloomy, not in the mood for just anything really. That kind of feeling.
Yeah, so for me, it depends on what I've been drinking. So I drink beer probably the most nowadays anyway. And so for me, my hangovers are typically like similar with you, not really headachy based. It's more lethargic. I feel quite queasy, usually for about 8 hours or so. And no matter what I kind of do with it, you know, my stomach is just like, look, no matter what you eat or drink, I'm not really happy with any of it, and I don't really want to do any of this. So it's mostly just kind of dealing with that and trying to be like, okay, I don't want to have to do anything about this. I'm just kind of go through it, the paces.
Work through it,
Yeah. No, I usually don't have any energy or anything like that. So that's I'm about the same. But if I'm drinking spirits, like if I do a lot of spirit drinking instead, then I don't really get queasy because it's usually far less quantity and it's far less heavy on you. But I do get I've definitely had a headache hangover because of that, or because of wine. But I don't really drink wine, so I've only had that maybe once or twice. But spirits, definitely for sure, it'll just be if I have a lot of it, headache, hangover, and it's like, you know, I feel like just shit.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to do anything kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, totally a hangover normally really knocks me out these days, in the sense that, to be honest, all I really want to do is just sleep it off. Is the thing. So
Exactly. Do as little as possible. Maybe just like pop something on telly and just kind of not exist for a while. 100%.
Exactly. 100%. Just chill out. Just switch out and switch off or zone out. Yeah,
which I mean, it works out as long as you've lined it up with like a day off or anything. Then you're like, okay, well, it's fine. I don't have to do anything today, so fuck it. Who cares, kind of thing.
Well, that's why it's weekend drinking. Mine tends to be on a Friday night rather than not midweek. And the odd thing about that is, or the annoying thing about that is, we've got something coming up next week, midweek, which I really kind of don't want to do because it's a Tuesday night. The boxing thing I was telling you about.
Oh yeah.
It's on Tuesday night, so. But I'm very reluctant to do it, to be honest.
I get you.
I know I'll feel like crap all day Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, despite it being a fun time, exactly like you say, it's going to be a fair amount of drinking, and it's going to be a long night, for example. So it's just and a work night, so it's just a variety of things that make it just not fun.
So it's nothing worse than hanging over and being at work.
Yeah,
you've got to really focus on work.
True.
You can't curl up and die.
No,
for like an hour or two.
And usually you can't really be like, I'm too hungover, I'm not going to come in today. That's not exactly a valid excuse to not go to work.
No.
Or school or anything, you know, it's just one of those things that you've put on yourself. It was a choice to get a hangover because of how much you chose to drink. Nobody forced you to drink, so it's not a winnable. It's just all bad.
It is. So that the flavour of that, it's the aftertaste. It reminds me. I'm trying to remember what it reminds me of something. I'm trying to think what it is. And both of them. They have that kind
I'm definitely getting it's fairly medicinal, herbally kind of flavor aftertaste, which is so interesting because when we drank it straight, obviously, like we were saying, it's more peppery. It was quite intense and smoky, whereas now it's more herbal and medicinal flavor. It's strange. I'm getting like a hint of pepperiness, which is kind of nice because it weirdly complements it compared to the tonic because it's got kind of that bittery sweetness.
Right.
So it's nice, but it is almost like a different drink all of a sudden.
Well, there is something very specific that on which I'm not a big fan of. In the flavour, in the aftertaste, I'm going to try and put my finger on it. It's it'll be a specific herb or something like that that I'll recognise from food or drink, or that I don't from time to time I've had. I'll remember it. It'll come to me and I'll mention it.
I got to admit,
it's going down well, isn't it?
I thought that was all right.
Well, you might as well have a red one. Unless you want to switch your mixer.
I might do. Because we do have some other ones. I've got the...
yeah, it's nice with the tonic.
I can make the... God, there's so many on one page. You have to scroll down. I've got... we can do black and soda, which is Centia Black with soda water. I've got that. Don't have the rocks. Cuba Libre. We could do a Cuba Libre. I've got lime juice and got cola, so we can do that.
That sounds interesting.
Or we can do dark and stormy, which is with... bit of lime juice with the black and top with ginger beer. So we've got a couple of choices as well, the tonic.
Both those sound good.
Yeah.
Normally rum mixes, aren't they?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Dark and stormy.
Because I would have gone for some other interesting choices, but passion fruit juice is as you know, not the easiest thing to find. So
no.
And I don't think it worked with the or grapefruit. You know, just
Oh, we've got grapefruit. So we've got pink grapefruit.
Well, yeah, I don't know if it'd work quite the same. It'd be kind of like a sex on the beach in a way then, but I don't know if we have any orange juice either.
No, I don't think we've got any orange juice.
Yeah, I did think about it, but then I was like, let me see if I can get the other juices as well, in which case I can have a big variety of stuff, but they didn't have everything I needed, so I was like, I'll just pick like 4 things that are pretty easy to make.
Okay. Well, Cuba Libre and dark and stormy sound good.
Yeah.
I'm not a spirit drinker anyway, generally, but if I'm going to drink a spirit, I quite like rum.
I mean, you quite like mojitos, for example.
Yeah, I like mojitos.
Which is yet another one that could be made if we had all the ingredients, but we don't. But yet again, it's like I don't think either of those flavors would quite work with a mojito. Really, maybe the red, but I don't know. They're not quite meant for a mintiness.
Yeah.
But I think dark and stormy would probably be pretty good. So we'll do a dark and stormy and a Cuba Libre. So if I grab the lime juice, the cola, and the ginger beer, I'll make us some of those. I was quite surprised to find a big thing of ginger beer, because usually you find ginger ales everywhere, not so much ginger beer.
Oh, good.
I think they're both with the black.
I'm just thinking about the measure here. It's 50 cl.
Yes.
Which is what was cl?
Centiliters.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
So that'd be 500 millilitres.
So it should be 10 50 mils. So 20 shots typically.
Right.
That's top of ginger beer, isn't it? Yeah. So for the dark and stormy, I say dash of lime juice and then top of the ginger beer. If I can open the lime juice. Oh, it's got like a funny lip, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Is it a fully rip off? It's a fully rip off.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Dash.
You want to put some in that one as well?
I think that goes on the other one. Yeah, let me just. Cuba Libre, yes. Dash of lime juice as well on the other one.
Right.
Good.
There we go.
Cute. And then that one gets the Coke. So we've got a dark and stormy and a Cuba Libre to try. It's just one of those. It's one of those weird new lids where they still keep the plastic cap kind of attached.
Yeah, it's very annoying.
It is very annoying. It just because you're always thinking, oh, is it going to come off? Is anything going to happen? I can't stand it really.
No, rubbish.
And they just don't always fit super well. Why completely change what has already worked anyway?
Right, cheers.
Cheers.
Cuba Libre.
I was thinking the ginger would have been a stronger smell, but it's not.
No, I'm still smelling the. Was it cinnamon? I don't know. It's not cinnamon. It's there is. There's some sort of aftertaste thing I can.
Needs a little bit more of that lime, I think. Yeah, it's weird. I don't smell the ginger, but I definitely taste the ginger. But usually ginger's quite as strong as it is, so you'd think you'd smell it too.
Well, that's okay. Is that? Try a bit.
Yeah, I'll try a bit. You want to try some of that? Yeah. I do know what you mean. It is a very specific kind of a smell.
Yeah.
But
well, you can feel the burn on that. On the dark and stormy. But I think you meant to, because ginger beer has got a bit of burn.
Exactly.
That's if anything, it's emphasising the burn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I do like me some ginger, so.
Yeah, me too.
It's funky. Yeah, maybe it's a bit too much burny with that.
Yeah.
That weirdly.
Because you got a bit of burn from that, and then
then the ginger as well. Yeah.
On top of that,
because even though the pepperiness is muted still, the flavor's still there, and then the ginger really pulls through. It's weird. That's so strange.
It's a bit.
Yeah.
That's quite nice.
Yeah, the Cuba Libre is pretty good.
I can't say I've drunk a lot of Cuba Libres in my life to compare it with, to be honest.
No, I mean,
rum and coke.
It's yeah, exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not really I know it's a drink, but it's like you're saying, it's not really a drink that you hear the name of a lot, because it's more like a rum and coke with a bit of lime in it. That's kind of it.
Yeah.
But dark and stormy, even that is not like a super common cocktail, but you can find it in more places, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cuba Libre, no. Really
So Cuba Libre for me, it's most frequently seen when I was a kid in the 1970s in Spain, in Lorette, so in like tourist places. It's
right.
Cuba Libre was quite a popular drink, and dark and stormy. I mean, we both have probably seen it more than anyone else in Cornwall.
Absolutely, yeah. I do love it down there.
Yeah,
it is nice. So I've got an important question then.
Yeah.
What was the first drink you ever had, if you remember it?
First alcoholic drink I ever had. I can remember the first time I got drunk.
Okay, that's still a story.
Yeah, and it is quite an interesting story.
There we go.
I was listening to somebody else's first. I don't know. Recently we were talking. Or somebody was telling me about it. Might have been yourself, or it might have been somebody else. But first time I get drunk was on sangria, and it was in Lorette. I was 14, and I seem to remember I was wearing a suit for some reason. That makes sense to me. But anyway,
maybe you went to an event or something.
Now we were visiting a friend of ours. So my mum and my dad. And my dad and my grandma. My mum and my dad took me to. We went to visit their friend who had worked with them earlier. So back in 1973, my mum and we moved to Spain for the year, for the summer. And my mum and dad were working at a nightclub. My mum was working. My dad was managing and he was performing on stage, and my mum was just a kind of head barmaid. And the head barman was a Spanish guy called Manolo, so he became a really good family friend. 3 years later, we every year from that point on, we used to visit Lorette. We always used to go on holiday to Lorette, and we were visiting. He had a new position, a new job, and he was running a bar in a hotel called Hotel Bertrand in central Lorette, and we were going to visit him. And so the three of us were there, and as the evening progresses, it's a nice hotel. I've stopped at the hotel since then. It's a nice little hotel. But as that night progressed, there weren't that many people there. It was mostly us. We kind of occupying the bar, and he was just like, pouring all the. And I think the mum ordered sangria. And I said, I really like the look of it because it comes in a jug and everything, fruity. Yeah. I thought, I don't mind trying it. And
sangria is lovely.
So I tried it, really liked it, and so he kept on bringing it on, and I eventually got drunk. I didn't really notice how drunk I was until I went to the toilet. And I sat on the toilet, and the room was spinning.
Oh yeah, and it just all kind of hits you at once, and that's when you go, oh okay.
Yeah, it was very weird. I was a little bit.
Or for some people, it's when they first stand up and they're like, oh no.
Well, it was a little bit scary because you think, oh my god, it's like the room's spinning. I feel like I can't get off, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that was probably the first.
You kind of like start losing your motor functions. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember that. I know exactly what you're talking about.
But sangria still to this day.
Sangria is fantastic. So. I mean, I'm always happy to have sangria, even though I don't really like wine much. If somebody's having a sangria, I'm like, I'll drink some sangria. Absolutely, it's refreshing. It's nice, but like you said, it's got a lot of the fruit in it as well.
Yeah,
and just something really nice about it. There is.
I'm not.
I guess it makes me think of holiday. I guess that's another big draw of it. It's something that reminds you that you're not really at work.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't drink it at work. Yeah.
It's a holiday drink, isn't it? So.
Yeah.
So what about yourself? What was your first alcohol or experience, or when did you get drunk the first time?
So I think we got technically 18 when you took me for my proper induction of being an 18-year-old. He took me to Ireland for my first proper pint of Guinness, which was, I mean, we didn't get drunk. We had some shots. We had a bit of fun in that little bar. It was quite nice. Yeah. So I did the proper rite of passage with that. Weirdly, I only had like a sip of beer before I turned 18. That was like quite a few years before Uncle Tony when we went to visit one time.
Right.
I don't remember exactly the full circumstances. All I remember is that I was in the kitchen with him, and it was like a little glass mug like they have, and he just let me try a little bit of beer. And I remember I think I was maybe like 11 or 12 at the time, and I was like, I didn't really like it because it tastes awful, and it really does if you're not prepared and you don't. It becomes a thing you have to kind of acquire the taste of. Really, is a beer. Yeah. So obviously back then I was like, oh no, beer's disgusting, it's nasty. But then when you kind of really open up your mind to it and you really delve into the different types of drinks and the fact it's flavor profiles and stuff.
Maybe drink a bit more of it.
Yeah, then you kind of were like, oh, okay, actually I like this one and I do like that one, and okay, and it just you suddenly gain an appreciation for it in my opinion. So those are the two I can fully remember. The first time I got properly drunk was probably my 21st birthday in the United States, because obviously that's their legal drinking age. So essentially I had a legal drinking age party twice. But so for me, I was always telling my friends, I'm like, look, I don't really care where we go. I'm just happy that I can legally have a drink here. So let's just go to a bar. I'll tell people where we are. we'll just have some drinks.
I remember I remember you mentioned to me at the time and talking to
it was a fairly straightforward plan, and me, Billy, Justin, we were all on the same page. Like, yeah, this is a good plan. We'll do that. But we were linking up with some of our other friends that night as well, who wanted to come along, but they also wanted to go to a club, and so things kind of got a little muddled. And before we knew it, it was like midnight, and I was like, we're running out of time because last call is at 1:45. I want to go get a drink. I don't give a shit. Let's just go to a bar. Let's just go to a bar. Let's just go to a bar. I need to tell people where we're going. I want to get a drink. I don't care. Let's do it. So eventually, 1 o'clock rolls around. And we do eventually go to a bar, but they're like, okay, we've got 20, 30 minutes to really have some drinks and stuff. And I'm like, So I'm like, okay, just get me a pitcher of margaritas, get me a beer, get me this, get me that. I ordered 4 drinks right away because I'm with my guys and everything. I'm like, yeah, let's have a couple of these. I'll tell some people where we are. And some people did roll up in that short span of time. So it's like, okay, well, let's go crazy with this. All right, I have a liquid cocaine drink, have a bit of this, have a bit of that. Before I knew it, I had maybe 4 or 5 different shots. I had the pitcher of margaritas, a couple of beers, and I was just feeling amazing as you would when you're young, and you're like, oh yeah, I feel like I could take anything on. And so our friend Bobby at the time was like, oh well, come back to mine. I live nearby. Funnily enough, the same apartment complex where I ended up living later on. Very funny that.
Yeah.
So we all went there. I'm still buzzing. I'm still excited. Oh yeah, we're gonna keep drinking. This is gonna be great. So I get there, still feeling great. Climbing up the stairs, get into his place. I sit down on the couch. And I'm immediately like, oh, I don't feel good. So I get up, and I go straight to the bathroom. I black out for a little bit.
Yeah.
I definitely fell asleep or something. I don't remember. I just remember my trousers were down. I'd done a bit of puking. Do as you do. I had to pee as well.
Yeah.
I fell asleep or I passed out or something. Eventually, they're like, oh, is he okay in there? It's pretty quiet. So somebody has to come in and check on me. My trousers are down. I'm on the floor just, kind of hugging the toilet and everything. They go, oh, well, we've seen too much now. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, I was peeing and then I had to do this and I just kind of passed out and stuff. Yeah, I don't regret it though. I don't regret it. It's just a funny story. I remember at one point we were outside on his little patio, and he had an ex-girlfriend's T-shirt that he threw over the side into a hedge, and he goes, "If you have to puke, aim for that T-shirt." And I didn't have to puke. But I just remember that, and I was like, "It's really fucking weird." Yeah,
it's a bit harsh.
Yeah, why don't you just chuck it away or something? Why don't you throw it over and be like, "Oh, it's still near my place, and I can always see it every time now."
Make it puke target.
Yeah, that was first time I properly got pretty drunk.
I can see the trousers down thing runs in the family.
It's just
because that's, I remember Jordan
hasn't happened since. I've never had that problem.
No.
But but then again, I don't tend to black out much either. I've only blacked out maybe 2 or 3 times, but luckily never as bad as that.
Well, I've dropped to sleep, and while I'm sitting up
I've seen it.
At least okay. Well, yeah, because people have videoed it. Your mum videoed it on one occasion, the first occasion in Cornwall, and Paul Patterson videoed it another occasion in Blackpool a couple of years ago. So and it's funny. When I don't even remember. And the next day,
it's pretty
funny.
Stuff.
You should see. You thought you were asleep. You're still like that. Well, I was either just about starting to get myself undressed, or I was just sitting there being stupid. But I may have done it more than twice. But there's video evidence on at least 2 occasions.
It's too funny. But that's drinking, isn't it, really? I mean, yeah, it can be risky and dangerous and problematic if you do it in the wrong kind of conditions, or you're with the wrong kind of people, or, let's say you're even out at a nightclub and something and people can spike your drink. Obviously, not a very common occurrence, but still is a possibility. So there are those dangerous factors involved, but, I mean, if you don't have any of those problems, drinking could be a really fun social thing. And that for me is a big draw why I enjoy drinking, because it usually means I'm going to have a good time with people. Usually we can talk about all kinds of random shit, and sometimes you get to try a drink that you've never tried before, and you might like it, you might not, but it's just nice, Yeah. It's just nice.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's silly that people poo-poo on drinking. Yeah, it's not good for you, but if we're not hurting anybody.
There is that, but also there's a lot of stupidity happens around.
Well, no, of course, no. There's definitely a lot of that. Yeah. Which, I mean, fair dues. Those people deserve to be told off. I think that's fair. I'm talking about people who are just, oh, you drink alcohol, and it's like, Yeah, I'm so sorry that that's ruined your life now.
Well, it seems
they just treat you differently.
It seems like in the States, that was when I first went to the States in 2000. When we first moved, 2001. It was fairly obvious to me fairly quickly that drinking, the extent that I drank or I was in the habit of doing, particularly I was in the habit from time to time of drinking at lunchtime. When I was working, I might have a pint or with my lunch, but that was very much frowned upon in Atlanta.
And it's definitely not a thing.
My workmates is like, that was like, oh, that's weird.
Whereas in the UK, it's still not something you should do, but it's more socially acceptable.
Yeah, absolutely.
To have one with a meal kind of thing. Yeah.
And then you have to work drinks again. Nowadays, I'm really not really keen.
I mean, maybe on a Friday night or something.
What I'm saying in midweek, I'm not that keen. But in the States, when I first was over there, I was well in the habit from England.
Yeah.
I didn't mind of an evening, Monday or Tuesday, is a way to connect with, bond more with your work colleagues or people. I often, in my position, my roles that I've played, I was often meeting people that had come from out of town for different reasons. They were from different departments, different areas, different offices, from different countries, and so I was often hosting them, in the office. So it was quite a common thing to say, well, I just felt it was courtesy to take them out afterwards and show them a little bit of the, sights and sounds of London or whatever, and
drinking is it's a big part of UK culture for sure.
Yeah, it is. So I was quite used to that being like that, and again, so I was interested in doing that in the States, and luckily I found one colleague, or luckily or unluckily, one American colleague who actually was well into it, a bit of an alcoholic, a bit of a functional alcoholic, so he was quite amenable to the idea of a drink, an after work drink. And so we became, we used to hang out quite a bit. But I was surprised. I was genuinely surprised by how Americans were not. But the people, guys in the office, that you think, oh, these are kind of guys. I imagine they'd like a drink after work. And they drank. It was obviously they'd have a beer now and then. But yeah, they were not. They were kind of not. It's
definitely different, which is so interesting because like if you talk to Americans who do like to drink, obviously they love to gloat that they can drink a lot and stuff. Yeah. But when it comes to the UK, I mean, people can drink a lot, but it's definitely a lot more common and less braggadocious because it's just a common thing.
Yeah.
Whereas over there, it's not as common. It's strange how that kind of mentality works. But even so, I mean, another interesting fact that I'm sure a lot of people should know, but not everybody does, especially people watching this. The fact that the UK pint and an American pint are different. They're different sizes, I mean, that's a big difference. You have a pint in America, and it's, I think it's what, like 468 mil or something like that? Or no, 440 mil. Whereas over here, it's 568 mil. It's bigger. It's much bigger. So we're more used to drinking in higher quantities because that's what we've been exposed to in our drinking culture. Whereas over there, they like to, drink a lot, but in reality, they are drinking less than a lot of other countries.
And not just that. So that reminds me that so at first, again, it was getting used to American beer. I don't like Budweiser and anything like that. They also tend to be lower ABVs, or they did compared to what we would.
That's true. So I was more pilsners and lager based, aren't they? They're definitely more.
So at the point I went to the States, I'd reached, shall we say, in my evolution of drinking through time. I was around 40. So I was into kind of stronger lagers. I'd gone past the point of enjoying the kind of weaker lagers, but that's really when Budweiser and Budweiser, they were kind of weaker lagers. But also, what I did find, the kind of drinks that I liked bizarrely enough, Newcastle Brown, very popular in Atlanta. And quite a few places had it on draft. You could buy it in bottles, and their version was pretty good. I mean, better than I wouldn't drink Newcastle Brown.
Better than the bottle version for sure.
Since being a boy, I wouldn't drink, and that's probably one of my first drinks actually, beer drinks when I was a boy.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd flavour, but
for
whatever reason over there, it had more of an IPA type of a flavour to it. It was really nice. That and Sam Adams and Sierra Nevada, they were
more the darker kind, like Yingling as well. I mean, I think the darker ones are quite nice.
Atlanta beer.
Yeah. But they also really like light beers, where it's like low calorie, which is just such an interesting thought when you're like, well, if you're gonna be drinking anyway, I mean, fuck it, who cares? But it's true, light beer culture over there is, I mean, Miller Lite, Coors Light, everything has a light. Bud Light, for Budweiser, there's tons of it. And I mean, to be fair, I mean, like my buddy, he loves having a drink as we all do, and he'll still drink beer, but now he specifically drinks Michelob Ultra, a far lighter, lower calorie beer, and he's lost weight.
Well,
And I'm like, well, you know what? Fair play.
yeah.
Fair play. If it helps you lose weight, but you can still enjoy yourself, well, all right, you know, and that's a great argument. That's, you know, still not good for you, but at least you've lost weight, you know. So that shows an effect. Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Whereas, you know, the UK, we don't really have light beer. It's not really a thing here.
No, it's not, is it?
I mean, you can find it, but it's Coors Light, or you know, maybe if you're lucky, you'll find it.
It'll be an American one.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be an American beer. Because it's not something we make. We're definitely more. We definitely enjoy IPAs and craftier beers now nowadays, or just a typical ale. That's a very common thing you find here. Is always some kind of an ale.
And stronger lager. So you'll go in the pubs. You'll have a lager. You'll have your basic lager.
Yeah, Carling, Coors.
ABV, yeah, but then you'll have a stronger. You know, you'll always have a range of stronger lagers, which are probably the most popular.
San Miguel.
Yeah.
Even I wouldn't say it's strong, but it's a stronger.
No, it's definitely a higher ABV.
I think it's 4.5 maybe, or maybe 5.
Yeah, they're all around that, and San Miguel is definitely in that group of lagers, which I would say is probably the most popular beer in the UK.
I would think so.
But anyway,
besides Carling, but that's just because it's cheap. Not because it's good. It's just cheap.
It's definitely not good.
No.
Well, I mean, if you're sensible and just starting out, or not evolving as I did through the taste range, or whatever.
If you're sick with low percent, I mean,
then Carling, I'm sure it's lovely. But But once you've got a taste for that, once
you've evolved,
it just tastes like water.
Like I don't think I could go back to Carling. I really couldn't.
It gives me drinking the weaker lagers just generally, because I used to love Carlsberg, but drinking Carlsberg now, or any weaker lager. Well, even I'm off lager, I'm more on the IPAs and the craft ales. But if I don't mind a strong lager, but if weaker lagers, it makes me feel a bit sickly. It's like when you're eating something rich, if I'm a sweet tooth, if I eat something that's very sweet, if you have too much of it, you start to feel a bit sick.
Yeah.
And that's what it's like drinking weak lager. Just drinking a volume of something which is.
That's true. You have to drink more of it. Yeah.
But it makes me feel.
But then
sick.
they also make a stronger version, Carlsberg Export, which is it tastes the same, to be fair, but it is a bit
That's
better.
A strong lager.
Yeah. That one's all right. That one's all right, to be fair. Yeah, it's quite interesting. Quite interesting.
Yeah, quite interesting. If you finish yours,
I have finished mine.
Are you feeling anything?
I've got to admit,
I'd
say I'm feeling. Maybe a buzz.
Yeah,
I'm definitely feeling. I'm feeling something.
I'm feeling a little.
I'll definitely give it credit. I'm definitely feeling something. I wouldn't say I'm like crazy, jolly, tipsy, drunk or anything like that. But I'd say there's definitely some kind of a buzz thing there. I don't know how long it's going to go on for, or how it's going to, what else is going to happen. But obviously, it makes me want to continue drinking, as typical drinking does anyway. So it's mimicking the effects so far. I just don't know how much more of it can do. But it's what I'm kind of happy to find out.
Yeah, me too. Do you switch on this one?
Yeah, I might.
Dark and Stormy.
I was gonna get back to the tonic, to be fair, because I mean, finishing the Dark and Stormy, it definitely ended up being. It's a bit burny.
Quite harsh.
Yeah, I definitely feel it in my chest, which is not horrendously, but it's fairly noticeable and just kind of constant. And it's one of those things where, like, I wouldn't have another one because I don't want that to get any more intense. And then, I don't want to make it feel like it could be any of that, or mimic heartburn. And I'm like, that's just uncomfortable,
I'll try it anyway, nonetheless.
Yeah,
even though
that's all right. You're more than welcome to have what you like.
The one thing from last night is, like I said, I haven't really felt a hangover today, but I did last night. I definitely had indigestion. So that was the negative impact of it. Well, drinking beer then going straight to bed really is not. It's not the best idea. Well, drinking beer, stuffing yourself with some sort of food, and then going straight to bed is.
Your body does not like that.
Not wise.
No, that's definitely a recipe for a bad time.
Thank you.
It's all right. But no, I thought it was quite good with the tonic. It was good. It was simple, but it's just pleasant. That, and I want to go back to a red for a little bit. That black is getting a bit moorish, but not in a lovely way. So I think maybe just alternating might be better.
Yeah. So what are we putting in each glass? About 20?
Well, I'm hoping 20 to 25. Yeah.
So that means we could probably do about 5 safely, and then.
Well, we can do up to I think 8 or 10.
Yeah.
safely that we know they've tested.
Yeah.
And then just kind of see how we feel from it. Because I don't know if I want to push the boat out beyond what they've tested.
No, definitely not. For me, I think probably 5 or 6 will probably do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if it gets the right effects.
Yeah, quite right.
That's right, is that?
No, it's quite good. It's just like I said, when I kind of got through it, I noticed a
that
level of burniness. Yeah,
pretty intense.
Let's see. Because I had a couple of alcohol-based quiz questions for you, and I thought you might enjoy that.
Okay.
It's only 15. They're fairly simple, so it shouldn't be too difficult.
Okay.
I'll admit though, some of them I didn't know right away, but I think you should be all right. So, which dry anise flavored aperitif is associated with and widely consumed in Greece and Cyprus?
I know what it is. Name slips my memory. It's
It's okay. I didn't know this one.
Yeah, I definitely know it.
A lot of the other ones.
I've drunk it, but the name is escaping me. It's one. It begins with. I want to say it begins with K, but I'm probably wrong. Am I wrong?
You are wrong. It does not begin with K.
What is it now? What is it? It's.
Do you want to know what
it is? It's not Zambuca, is it? Because
no.
That's no. It's another one like it's. Oh God, what is it? Because it's like a because anise is like. Well, typically, you've got Pernod French, and you've got also got as well as that you've got another French drink. But it's I've definitely had this.
It's a tricky one to start with, but trust me, some of these other ones are pretty obvious.
Yeah. No, I definitely know this drink. I've had this drink. Oh God, it's so one of the commonest drinks that the alcoholic drinks you have in. Well, I've never been in Greece, but that you have in Greek restaurants or when you go on holiday in Greece. Apart from some.
Would you like to know what the letter starts with?
Yeah.
O.
No, that's bizarrely not helping. Yeah, let me come back to it.
That's fine. We'll come back to it.
It may pop in me.
Okay, so question 2. The name of the world's best-selling single malt whiskey also means Valley of the Deer in Scottish Gaelic. What is it?
Oh, Jesus.
You will absolutely know it.
I mean, Glenfiddich?
Yeah. Glenfiddich. Yeah. It is very... But it's the world's best-selling single malt whiskey. And I totally believe that. It's really nice.
It's very popular.
Okay, number 3. Calvados, a brandy from Normandy in France, is mostly made from which fruit?
I mean, if it's brandy, I've got to go with. I thought brandy was made with. I thought it was made with the. Like with raisin, like a grape or whatever, but not initially a grape, but I thought like a raisin, like a.
Maybe like a date kind of thing. Or...
Yeah.
Okay.
You think, or like a.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Was it that?
No.
What is it?
Apples.
Calvados.
Yep. It's okay. So number 4, which aromatized fortified wine, historically having the 2 main types of sweet and dry, is a key ingredient in cocktails such as the martini, the Manhattan, and the Negroni?
Oh, okay, no.
Vermouth. See, like so some of them, when you hear it all out, you're like, actually, yeah, I think I know it. Okay, number 5. This should be pretty easy. Which brand of rum is named after a 17th century Welsh
Captain
pirate?
Morgan.
Yes. Number 6. Facundo Masso, or it could be Facundo Masso, I'm not sure, a Spanish wine merchant born in 1814, produced the first clear or white rum in the world. What was Masso's middle name? It's a very popular...
Is it the rum named after his middle name?
Yeah.
Bacardi.
Yeah, they sound like they could be complicated, but they're actually
if
pretty...
you think about it.
Yeah. Okay, number 7. Made with Caribbean rum, what is the flavour of Malibu?
Coconut.
Yeah. Some of them are just gives. Okay, number 8. Also called honey wine. Which alcoholic beverage has been created since ancient times by fermenting honey with water?
Mead.
Number 9. Kirsch is a clear, colourless brandy, traditionally made from the double distillation of which fruit?
Peach.
No. Kirsch.
Kirsch.
It's a very specific...
Oh, I thought it was like a beach schnapps type thing. But no, I don't really know Kirsch.
Cherries.
Cherries, right.
Like Kirsch cherries.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Number 10. Which country has the highest beer consumption per capita in the world?
I'm going to go with Germany.
Close.
Oh. Close to Germany.
More east.
More east. He said Czech Republic.
Czech Republic. He's right.
I had a voice from the heavens.
Yeah. You
Was it
phone a friend.
I might be in the depths. A voice from the depths said.
We'll allow that. We'll allow some lifelines. I think that's fair.
Mm.
Which alcoholic beverage made from fermented pears is sometimes called pear cider? Perry.
Yeah.
Number 12. Which slang term is often used for high-proof distilled spirits that were usually produced illicitly?
Bootleg.
It is bootleg, yeah. But there's an actual word for what the bootleg is.
Jesus. God. Poutine is coming in my head. It's Irish.
Poutine?
That's Irish, isn't it?
Poutine is Canadian.
No, poutine is Irish.
Oh, poutine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But that's potato whiskey. But I'm thinking it's the American thing, isn't it? It's American term. Oh, what the hell?
It is, yeah.
What the hell? What is it? No, it escapes me.
Moonshine. Which well-known distilled beverage is made from the blue agave plant? Blue agave.
What distilled? Say again.
Which well-known distilled beverage? So what alcohol is made from blue agave?
Oh God. Is it a blue drink?
Not really. No.
Okay. That's all I'm thinking then. So I don't really know. I'm thinking something like gin, but gin's from juniper.
Yeah, it's not gin, but you're thinking similar.
Vodka, maybe.
Well, no, that's potatoes, so it's not that.
All right, so I don't know.
Tequila.
No, right, okay.
Number 14. Which word originally refers to a drink made with water and rum? Which British vice...
Grog.
Yeah, didn't even have to go through the whole thing. Number 15. Which sparkling wine was once referred to as Spanish champagne, although such naming is no longer permitted under EU law?
No, I've got champagne anymore. Spanish champagne. I want to go Prosecco, but I think Prosecco is...
It's not Prosecco.
I thought it was Italian. No, Gaba.
There you go.
Gaba.
Yeah, see? Like I said, they sound like they're kind of complex, but when you really break it down, they're pretty straightforward.
I want to get that
that's your last one to get, really.
Oh, it's going to really annoy me when
I don't even know how to pronounce it, but it's not a big word.
Ouzo.
There we go.
Ouzo. That's it.
There we go. He's got it. That was good.
I thought there'd be a Z in it somewhere.
I thought that would be appropriate for a little drinking escapade, or a non-alcoholic drinking escapade.
I didn't even need any voice from the depths.
No, you did really well.
There's a couple there got completely stumped me. Blue agave.
Oh, that's very good. Yeah, no. It's so if you go to a lot of bars and you look at a lot of tequilas, besides like because they do like what's it? Tito's is a basic one, but a lot of like the higher end ones, they'll tend to list that they got made with blue agave. It's like always listed on the front. So
right.
Yeah, the moment I saw blue agave, I was like, tequila.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I'm not really a tequila drinker. I try to avoid it as
well. I'm not really a tequila drinker either, but I've been to back when I was still working in the States, taqueria opened up like right near where I used to work. I would pass by every day, and so it kind of became part of the local haunt for me, and it was really nice. But obviously, as a taqueria, they do a lot of Mexican dishes, so they always had like some kind of tequila behind the bar, and so it was one way I got to learn a lot about tequila, and I got to try an ancho one, which is like a very chili, very spicy tequila. Not a great idea. I can see why people like it, But I mean, if you thought you burned before, no, you burned twice as much when you're drinking a chili tequila. That was just terrible.
Well,
But it was fascinating to try, and I can at least say I've tried that, and I don't want to try it again.
well, I'm happy to think of this. I'm actually enjoying this. I'm enjoying this burn sensation. It's not too much, but it's there. It's distinct, but I'm actually enjoying it. That part of it.
Yeah,
but I might not be by the end of it, like you say. It might be too much.
Yeah. For me, it was definitely at the end of it, but it's gone now. It didn't last very long. But that could be because I'm drinking something else now.
Mm.
I've got to say, it's definitely mimicking the feeling of like I'm having drinks and I'm able to be social. So I'll give it that. It's definitely got some of the pros so far.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting to see if there are indeed no cons. That's the big one. You know, no hangover. It says no hangover is their claim. That's a big one.
It'll have to be tomorrow before I can.
But at the same time, I mean, if it doesn't have alcohol in it, why would there be a hangover? You know, so it's impressive. It's very impressive. Yeah. I'm just wondering about what other flavors they might do, because these are the only ones they do so far. Right. Just these two, the only kinds they do.
Yeah.
So it'd be impressive to see what other flavors they could come up with. But if it's simple enough for them to do, then yeah, I mean, world's your oyster.
Yeah, Centia.
Yeah, I could absolutely see them doing like little, kind of like what a bunch of them do now, like Gordon's and stuff, where they make little tin versions of things you could just buy in supermarkets for like £2-3 where it's pre-made and stuff. I could definitely see them doing something like that.
Like pre-mixed.
Yeah,
like wine coolers, but that taste like wine coolers, but just no alcohol in them.
Yeah. I think they'd have to give you, because I would say, I mean, I think this is our fourth or fifth one, and it definitely took more than two to kind of start feeling anything really out of it. Because at first it was just kind of like, oh, it's just a nice drink, interesting thing to try out, and interesting flavors. But I'll give it credit. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm getting
a bit of a hit out of it.
And there's certainly a fair bit.
Yeah.
Because when I first saw the bottles, I was like, oh, there's not really a lot there, but actually, it's enough for what you need.
Exactly.
I like that. I like thinking at the end of the day, want to have a little fake buzz.
Yeah.
Just do a bit of this. All right with that.
That's what you have to do.
All the buzz with none of the fuss. Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad. But sometimes you just want a cold beer, and it doesn't do that. It's definitely spirits. Definitely.
Yeah. You got to be a spirit drinker to want to drink it.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's nice. That one's nice. I'm enjoying that. Because I think, and I guess it's as well that burn is, it's kind of that, it gives that tingly sensation that you know you're drinking something stronger. You're telling your brain that psychologically, it's stronger than just.
That's got to be part of it as well. The psychological effect of like, oh, it feels burny like an alcohol. Yeah.
So it's got to be doing something to it.
Little trick. Interesting. Yeah, that could be part of it. That could definitely be part of it. So I now need to ask you a question, which will tie into another video, but it's going to be useful, so I knock out two birds with one stone here.
All right.
I need you to explain to our lovely audience my relationship with Mr. Blobby.
Your relationship with Mr. Blobby.
So, because I remember you telling me before that when I was quite young, back in the UK, even, I mean, we're talking like maybe 5 or 6.
Yeah.
I used to love watching him on TV, didn't I?
Yeah.
And that's what gave you and Mum the idea to surprise me one year.
Well, we were at a party at my sister's house. I think it might have been Natalie, or it might have been Daniel's birthday party. It was something like that. And I don't know why, to be honest, I can't remember. I think it was fancy dress, or it was maybe for the adults were going to be fancy dress or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But for whatever reason, I don't even know how I got the gear together or anything like that. But I decided to dress as Mr. Blobby for the party, and when I came out when all the kids were in the garden, when I first came out in my costume, I was chatting with everybody and doing blobby, all that kind of stuff, and all the kids were having a good time. But you were like freaking out, like no, you're crying, crying your eyes out. You don't want to say, it's all right, I'm Mr. Blobby, but no, go away, that kind of thing. Yeah, you were terrified, basically, of the Blobby costume, so I had to take it off eventually. But yeah, it was an unusual reaction.
It's so funny because another thing for me about Mr. Blobby is the fact that, besides the fact I know he exists, I mean, past 10 years old, didn't really know anything about him. Didn't really know, what else he's done. And I knew he was like famous in a way, but in a goofy kind of a,
in the character on Noel Edmonds' show.
Well, on Noel Edmonds' House Party, exactly. That's because I'd obviously do research for the video and stuff. And I was like, okay, well, I want to talk about his origins. I want to talk about where he was first shown. Got little clips and pictures and stuff and everything, talking about all that. I've got a little soundboard, and I had to do the whole 9 yards because I wanted to really explain to people who the fuck comes up with this and why. And apparently, so the original inspiration behind it was before Noel Edmonds' House Party. He was doing the Saturday Road Show, and in one of his skits with Eamon Holmes, he dressed up in this like monster costume, just to goof around and piss him off and stuff like that. But he didn't get pissed off. He was just really goofy and ridiculous, and they got stuck in the car and everything. Really funny skit. Yeah. But in the future, when they did Noel Edmonds' House Party, and they wanted to kind of keep doing gotchas on every episode, and they go, well, it's going to be tricky. Like, how do you come up with new stuff every time? And that's when they were like, okay, we need to have an actual character who will always be able to gotcha people as Noel Edmonds and stuff. Because obviously he's got somebody else doing it, but then it's him in the costume and crap like that. But so they came up with a character, and they go, based on that sketch where he was in a monster costume, and they're like, yeah, we'll just come up with some weird little design and everything. And he basically was just kind of this amalgamation of a blob, and an art blob. Exactly, and an artist basically gave him all the polka dots and the googly eyes and stuff, and he was born, and that was just it from there. And it's like, that's so strange. And then just from that show, he got so famous that he got his own little TV show. He did like Christmas singles and all. He just did everything Mr. Blobby could do. Had theme parks and shit. It was insane. All of them failed though. Yeah, all of them failed, and that makes me feel really good. Yeah. The fact that they threw him at everything, and he just couldn't really get off the ground. But they would throw him at everything. Yeah.
Well, it seemed like a thing, and again, I can't even imagine where I got the costume from, or I even got the idea, other than the fact that I thought you liked him. But
I really don't. I don't know why I would have.
It was the opposite reaction that I got to what I expected. It was quite alarming. And it was only you. I mean, Adam and I don't know if Jordan was. Yeah, he might have been a baby at that time.
He might have been a baby.
I think he was a baby at that time.
Because this was definitely ages ago.
But all the other kids were. Oh yeah. But you were like.
No, he was just a horrific monster. I mean, even when we went to Chuck E. Cheese's, like within the first couple of years of being in the States, I was kind of freaked out of Chuck E. Because they had the animatronics one, and then they had the one walking around. It confused and freaked me out the whole time. And when I first met him, I was just like, I want nothing to do with you. Yeah. But eventually he came around at one point, and I was like, all right, I guess I'll give you a hug or whatever. And I just wanted nothing to do with him, because I was just like, look, it just doesn't work for me. It's just a freaky, weird experience where you see something really big and really strange, and you're like, it's not acting the way you think it would act at all. And you're like, yeah, no, I just don't want anything to do with that.
No, that was it.
Yeah, well, it weirdly still, I'm still kind of the same now. I'm like, no, it's not for me.
Freaky stuff.
Yeah.
Wearing costumes and looking freaky.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, like now as an adult, it's you go with it. It's not really a big deal. But yeah, no. When I was younger, I was like, no.
Totally creeped you out.
Yep. Completely. Just too freaky for some reason. Just couldn't handle it.
Oh, we learned on that occasion that was going to be the case. So we tried to refrain from that type of activity.
Yeah.
It was funny though.
Yeah, it's a funny story. It's a funny story, which, like I said, will tie in really well to that video. So
cool.
It's great. Right. It's really, really good. So I can get that out today.
Excellent.
But yeah, even in the video I talked about how Pingu, not really, the show didn't actually like scare me, but there are like certain scenes that were just like a bit off-putting and kind of freaky, and so a lot of people online weirdly all felt the same, and so they mostly mentioned this one episode where Pingu's having a dream, and he gets like basically not really attacked, but messed with by this giant walrus who has like kind of like a Steve Harvey creepy face. And you're like, nah, it's pretty weird, and he ends up like eating his mattress and stuff, and you're like, yeah, I can see why kids would be a bit scared of this. He's just kind of playing around Pingu, eating his bed and shit. Like, yeah, that's pretty freaky weird. Yeah. But even some of the animation styles were just kind of weird. They got one where he stuffs his face down with a bunch of food, and he has like googly eyes, a weird tongue, and I was like, just, I suppose when you're really, really young, you're like, oh, this is funny. But when I'm looking back, I'm like, no, some of this is just kind of weird. Like, it's off-putting. There's something just strange about it.
I only watched it as an adult when you were kids, but I loved it. I thought Pingu was really...
Well, no,
but I like
I mean, for the most part, I quite enjoy Pingu. I think it's fine. Same with Noddy. Like, there was one weird scene that for some reason stuck out to me that made me think, oh, this is kind of scary. But I was really, really young at the time. But when I rewatched it, I was like, there is nothing scary about the show at all. But it's because like his car gets stolen by the goblins and stuff in the dark woods, and for some reason that just stuck in my memory. I don't know why. Because rewatching, I'm like, this is really goofy. But I found out, interestingly enough, in the books, he specifically gets attacked by gollywogs. So like blackface people.
Right.
They strip him naked and they steal his car. And it's like, it's like you turn this into a kid's show. It's very different.
Yeah, it's a bit of an adult theme for a book anyway, for Enid Blyton.
When I heard that, I was like, that's certainly quite a different turn. Oh, God, yeah. Different day and age, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
So were there any things while you were growing up that you were freaked out by that you probably shouldn't have been?
Yeah, I'm sure there were. 100% sure there were, because a lot of things freaked me out when I was growing up, or disturbed me. But try and remember.
Yeah, that's
now
the
that
trick.
one of the influence of Centia.
That's the trick. Because I'm sure there must have been more things that might have freaked me out, but for the first episode, I'm specifically just doing the first 9 years while I was in the UK, and then further on, I'll do further years in the US, shit like that.
And that was a distinct event. I remember that. That was memorable, definitely, for us, for the family, as a family.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Oh God, what things freak me out? I mean, when I was 6, we moved into a house which I stayed in till I was 18. So all my formative years, we lived in the one house, 409 Southfield Lane, and it was, and that's just bizarrely, I still, in my dreams still now, that's often the venue of the main venue of the dreams. So and with my current family or whatever else, people have never even seen the place, let alone lived there, all based in that place.
I get that.
That happens a lot, and that number, the number of the houses is kind of stuck. It's got a haunting thing to it. It keeps cropping up in usually at times when I'm not feeling very good. So I feel like it's a bit of a cursed number, which is a bit odd. But at the time I moved in, perfectly nice house, nothing wrong with it. It's a lovely house, big house at the time. But it was, we did fairly early on learn that it was haunted, or told by various people, various different hauntings, and in particular, a story that kind of struck out for me. It was probably when I was about, I might have been, I was 11. I think it was when we were living in Spain. Yeah, because my Auntie Mary went to live there, my dad's sister, for a brief period with a couple of her friends, while we were living in Spain. And then she came out to visit us in Spain, and she said, she told us a few incidents that had occurred, which really creeped me out. And then of course we had to go back and live in the house, and having with those stories, and oftentimes I would be babysitting in the house when I was like 12, 13, looking after the rest of it. My mum and my dad my dad worked most nights. He worked during the day and at night as a pianist, but often, not often, but from time to time, my mum would go out, and then I'd be looking after. And I know I was a little bit. Well, I was a bit scared to go to bed. Basically, I'd stay up, I'd stay awake till very late. I got a bit freaked out because of any little creaks and things like that. You think, well, it's haunted, and all kinds of stories kind of bubble up in your mind. But it wasn't. I mean, I don't know whether it was or wasn't. I don't really believe in ghosts now. That was quite freaky. That was a very freaky thing. And especially when she told that story. So when I was 11, hearing that story in Spain about this, there's I think a little old lady sitting at the end of my bed, and they've got crucifixes, because she's a Catholic. Got crucifixes, and every time we hang crucifixes up, next morning wake up and they're down again. And go, come on, that's a bit. I'm getting goosebumps now thinking about that. I think, come on, that seems a little bit.
It affected you in a certain way.
It did, and I there were little minor things that occurred. I mean, to me personally. So, for example, there was one time where we shared a big bedroom between the three of us, 3 kids. This is before Patrick was born, or maybe perhaps it was a baby, and they'd be like in the middle of the night again. No, we'd be sleeping. It wouldn't be when my mum and dad were out. We'd be sleeping, and I'd wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning, and I'd suddenly hear a little toy noise. We'd have a toy basket in another part of the room, and I'd hear suddenly a toy making a noise. What the hell?
Oh my God!
It completely freaked me out. But again, it's things were all crammed in on top of it. It could have just been random. Anything could have caused it.
Absolutely.
But it's very freaky when you hear something like that.
Certainly throws you off. Yeah.
I mean, what the hell? So.
Makes you believe in it. Oh, yeah. Even for a bit.
Yeah, well, it had to be for a bit because I don't believe in it now. So.
No. No, I think that's a big thing about hauntings and the paranormal activity. It's like, unless you have something very distinct happen to you, it's hard to fully immerse yourself and believe in it. You know what I mean? Like, I love the idea of it, and I'd love to believe in it, but because I know I haven't had any very, specific events or anything happen to me where I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I was definitely saw something, I've definitely been haunted or whatever. I definitely think I'm skeptic about it, and I think it's a good mindset to kind of go into it. I'm open to it, but it's just nothing has ever happened I fully believe in.
I'm interested in it, but I'm not. I'm not convinced.
No, exactly. Like noises happen at night. You might mishear something, or maybe it gets a bit cold. Certain things can happen that can line up with ghostly activity, but at the same time, a lot of it can be dismissed and debunked and stuff. So I'm like, I'd like something to happen specifically that really cements in my mind, it's real, but just hasn't happened. No. So this is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
But totally open to it.
Yeah.
Totally open to
it. A lot of people that do believe in it.
Yeah. And I don't dismiss all of them, I'm sure some of them have probably had something that freaked them out in a way that they totally believe in it, and I can agree with that. Yeah. I don't think all of them have. I don't think all of them are telling the truth, which is, I think it's fair.
Well, even watching Ghost Hunters, it's quite interesting footage. Occasionally they have and what I like about a program like that is, I'm not big on paranormal programs like other members of the family are, but I mean something like Ghost Hunters where it feels like it's not that they've taken a bit of a skeptical, they've taken a balanced view on it, and you have a lot of programs, a series of programs when there's not much showing up, but then on rare occasions you'll see some pretty impressive footage, very very brief. But you think, oh no, that is a bit unusual.
Yeah.
And it somehow, because it's so rare, and because it's not, they don't make a song and dance about it. I mean, they do make, oh, wow, that's. But to me that makes it more believable.
Quite right.
So I'm willing to entertain the thought, but I don't really. I'm interested in it.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I'd love to do ghost hunting or anything like that. Explore creepy places and stuff because when I had a call with a social media manager the other day, and he was like, obviously you cover horror and stuff. Would you be willing to go to like haunted locations and stuff? And I go, obviously, yeah. If I'm making money, and I have no issue checking out these places. But obviously, you gotta usually talk to the appropriate authorities about it, or find out who owns it so you can get their permission and stuff. Blah blah blah. But he's like, well, if you could though, and I was like, well, yeah, I'd totally spend the night at a place or do whatever because I don't fully believe anything will really happen. Yeah, there might be spookiness to it, but I don't think. I'm going to get like possessed or killed or anything like that. So I'm not really too worried about the paranormal. I'm more worried about like homeless people and stuff. Yeah. I think that's more of a danger when it comes to that bit. But he goes, what about like the Conjuring house? I'm like, well, yeah, I'll go places that are supposed to be haunted. That doesn't really frighten me. I think it's a great idea. Yeah, I might get spooked, but I don't think I'll, chicken out and be like, I can't do it. I was like, yeah, I think it'd be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll spend the night at a place. I don't really care. Will I probably get scared? Yeah, I probably will. But people want that, don't they? I have no issue putting myself in not in actual harm's way, but in an uncomfortable situation if it makes other people entertained, because that's part of the shtick, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I mean that's why people like me playing horror games. Like it's things they want to see, but they aren't brave enough to do it themselves. They're like, well, if you watch it, if you do, I'll watch you do it. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll freak myself out for you. I don't really give a shit, It's because you get entertained, I get something out of it. Everybody kind of wins.
Yeah. Right, drink time.
Yeah.
Where are you going next?
Might do the Cube Libre because I've had the red now, so I feel like I need to
go back to
alternate.
Black.
Yeah, just alternate. I think that's just what will work best.
Maybe I'll do the red and tonic then.
Yeah, the red and tonic was lovely and soft. It really just kind of it's cleared any spiciness.
Yeah, nice in between.
bloody top back on.
Yeah, I might have another of those after. I did like the dark and stormy. It's left a little bit of a, but it's not too bad for me. I feel like better. Probably is my favourite out of all so far.
Well, I do like a dark and stormy. That's why when I saw there was ginger beer, I was like, well, I've got to get that because I've got ginger ale in case I couldn't find it. But when I actually found it, I was like, oh, I've got to have both. Then why not?
Yeah, cool.
Because proper ginger beer is just lovely. But you're the one who got me into proper ginger beer. Because I've had ginger ale quite a lot. You know, we used to drink it in the States, Canada Dry and stuff. But ginger beer is there's just something so much more special about it.
It's a bit harsher, isn't it? It's a proper stronger taste to it.
Mm-hmm.
Ginger ale just being massively kind of dumbed down a little bit.
Absolutely. That is nice. Well, I guess we have to think about what other places in York we can check out. Because obviously I think the wall crawl is a good idea.
Yeah.
I think that'd be good. I can also make a video out of it. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
The Cold War bunker I want to check out. It's apparently just past the train station.
Is it?
Yeah. So it might not be the best to walk to it because it is like a little bit further outside, but it's like I think a 10-minute drive, so it's just not bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I think it'd be good. I think we can go on a Friday or a Saturday. So
okay.
I'll book us a time when we figure out the best way to do it.
Okay.
Because I don't think you can just walk in. You have to pay for entry and stuff. So I'll look into that. We'll figure out a day because it looks really interesting. So I'm really excited about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You haven't done the York dungeon, I mean. I've done the London dungeon a couple of times, but I've never done the York dungeon. That might be.
I don't know if I can make a video on that though.
Oh no,
because they don't allow photography and stuff.
Yeah, it'd be copyrighted.
Yeah. Although it'd be really cool. I mean, I think it's still a great experience, but yeah, sadly, not allowed.
I get that.
Yeah. But I think that cruise, that little city cruise, I think it'd be cool. That'd be quite a fun way to see the city. Have fish and chips as well on it. That'd be quite nice.
What was that? The open top thing?
City cruise.
Oh,
thing.
on the river.
On the river, yeah.
Oh wow.
And one of them also does like fish and chips and stuff. Yeah,
That does sound good.
It does sound good, yeah. Especially like a nice sunny day. You're on the boat. They're taking you. I think it's for like an hour or something. Take you around, give you a tour and everything. You have fish and chips. Like, that sounds great. Yeah.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
So I'll look into some of these. I think that'd be good. I feel like I'll inevitably do like a ghost tour. I don't know how it's gonna go. I kind of feel like I know how it's gonna go because I did one in Savannah a long time ago, and it's interesting, but at the same time, nothing happens on it because it's just a tour, isn't it? And they're there to explain certain things to you at events, and ooh, this is spooky because of this, and ooh, this is spooky because of that, and it's cool, but you know.
I definitely like the look of the ghost bus.
I think the ghost bus looks awesome. I would definitely do the ghost bus.
I'm interested.
I just don't know anything about it. So I've got to see if I can find any info on it.
Well, we walked through it last night. As we were walking up Stonebow, it just stopped because it stopped as a stop outside Stonebow.
All right.
Sorry, a stop on Stonebow. And they were all piling off. And he was taking them on a little walk.
Oh, okay. Maybe
and then there was another character from the bus sort of mask on, like a scary monster mask. And it looks kind of fun.
It does look kind of fun, yeah. But I think it's a little bit more interesting than just a ghost tour.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like a bit of extra, and I think that's fun.
Yeah.
It just looks like a quirky bus, and it's like what's so cool about that? Excuse me.
Down the hatch. Don't know if it was on my fifth drink of rum and coke, I might be a little bit more drunk than I am now. So I do feel a bit of a buzz, like you say, but I don't feel tipsy. I don't feel particularly drunk.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm feeling messy or anything like that.
No,
I'm definitely feeling pleasant and jolly, like as though you were drinking. Yeah, relax is a good way to put it as well. Yeah. But with a level of energy and excitement to kind of do stuff. But yeah, yet again, I don't know if it continues because you keep drinking or if it just inevitably wears off. I don't know. But like I said, they make it sound like it doesn't last more than like an hour. So.
Oh right, really?
Yeah. I could be wrong. It might be longer. I don't know. But that's what a few people have said online. So we'll see. In which case, yeah, this definitely do this again. Well, I mean, I could definitely do it again. I've got plenty of this stuff.
You've got enough alcohol in? Non-alcohol.
Non-alcohol. It's definitely not alcohol.
You got enough of the product.
Yeah. I mean, look at that. Food supplement, alcohol free. Even says it right there.
Mm-hmm.
You get that on camera. Alcohol free. People can't say we're drinking because legally we're not.
That's right.
Yeah, that's very interesting. It's definitely mimicking some of the effects.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's nice.
So I saw your summer.
Oh, summer sessions.
Summer sessions. That's
what I called it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Little intro video. Yeah, yeah.
It's good because it's very realistic. Makes it look like you really are.
Yeah, yeah. Even in the video, I had to tell them because it was raining all week, and I was like, I would have, done some of this outside, but it's been raining all week, so I had to, do the next best thing. Yeah, I thought that'd be kind of goofy, so just went with it.
And did you have some sound effects at the start as well? I seem to recall.
Yeah, like little beachy sounds and stuff. Yeah. Because there's tons of like free copyright free stuff that you can usually use online, so I can just give credit. So that's what I do for a few things. So it's so nice because some of them are really, really good, and I'm like, that's just great. But other ones you got to pay for, and I'm like, I'm not going to spend like 12 quid to use one sound effect. That's not really not really getting my money out of that. It's a little 3-minute video. I'm never going to pay off 12 quid. So it's like, no, that's fine.
So in terms of content, I'm thinking. I mean, it's a limited period, but general election seems like it might be a vote winner. Pardon the pun. I mean, it's a topical thing that I'm sure people will be looking up.
It's topical.
To make commentary on it of some sort or another.
Do you have opinions?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've got lots of opinions, political opinions, definitely. I mean,
it depends on if you want to talk about any of them or not. You don't have to. So.
I can talk about it, but
it's up to you. I mean,
it's just a topic that it's not going to be to draw people to this video because it's not specifically about.
No. This is about election. Testing Centia and just talking about random shit as we do.
Exactly. It's more about a bit like the clickbait thing. It's a bit like it's more about that topic, various topics connected to the general.
Well, exactly. It's all about trending and stuff, which, as you said, is a. Excuse me again, Jesus, so gassy. It's just a topical thing, which people will always click onto for a limited amount of time, and then within a week it's just moved on to another thing. It's very true.
Yeah. Well, it seems to me that I don't think the Tories are going to win it. That seems fairly clear. I don't think that's a remotely.
He was talking about reinstating national service. Did you see that? What a crazy.
Not just that, but I've seen the TikTok targeting younger people to explain that. Oh no, don't be scared. I'm not saying you all should be forced to go in the army and blah blah blah. No. I'm just saying that voluntarily. You 12 months in army commission, and if you want to do that.
Which is not what national service means, but
they've been getting mixed up over that. One minute they're saying it's going to be mandatory, next minute they're saying, well, no, it's completely voluntary.
Yeah, it's not mandatory.
It won't be. And then you got the option of doing the army or else doing volunteer work 1 week, every weekend, working in something in the community, or else something to do with search and rescue. It's just mad. It's just absolutely the Conservatives scrambling to find anything they can find to kind of just desperately get themselves out of a hole, but they're not going to do that. They're not going to succeed.
That's just too late, isn't it?
Yep. I don't think it's outlandish or in any way controversial to say that they're going to lose this election. But the last thing I was looking at on this today indicated they might not just lose. I'm not sure I'm convinced by this one, but they might not just lose. They might be knocked back. Definitely gives you a bit of wind, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They'll knock you into. They'll be knocked into third position. They won't be the main.
They won't be the
main rival party. They won't be the, So I don't know that. But presumably Liberal Democrats. But I can't see that happening. I mean, the Liberal Democrats aren't even. They're targeting where they're campaigning. They're not even campaigning across the country.
That's right.
They're just focused on the ones where they think they've got a real shot.
Yeah, as a lot of political candidates do.
Yeah.
Unless you're a major party, in which case you could just do national coverage.
But then you see the Tories. It is funny with the Tories because there was, I think, something like 80 members of the Tory party, parliamentary Tory party, were annoyed by Rishi Sunak's decision to make the election on the.
Oh yeah, like really sudden, wasn't it?
Quick.
Yeah, really sudden.
And so annoyed that they've all said, "I ain't standing."
Yeah, it's
simple
like,
as that. I'm just
screw
not
that.
standing. So that's left the Tory party in a position where they've now got to scramble to get people to stand in so many places.
I mean, they've really just shot themselves in the foot multiple times.
Yeah, it's weird.
Too much of a scramble. Did you hear about Donald Trump though?
What, being convicted?
Yeah, on 34 counts.
Yeah.
Yep. Still apparently can run for president though.
It's nuts, isn't it?
It's it's a bit strange how that all works. But he will be listed as a felon.
I don't think you'd be able to do that in England. I'm pretty sure you can't.
No.
Stand as an MP if you're a convicted felon.
Exactly. I think it's very different, isn't it? So yeah, it's messy. But hey, I mean, he's found guilty.
Yeah.
34 counts, quite a lot.
But apparently, the likelihood of them going to jail is slim.
Yeah. I think they've got like specific terms and stuff, don't they, for it? But it's even if he were to go to jail, it wouldn't be for a long time, and he can still run for president. It's just fucking it's so strange how it all works.
And his response to it just makes it. He just gets more and more and more bizarre, more and more extreme. And he'll have the popular support of a lot of people that decide they want to be anti-establishment.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's also like arguing against like millennials and woke people and stuff, which obviously that yet again draws in older crowds, even if they wouldn't typically go with him. They'd be like, oh yeah, well, he doesn't understand the young people either, and he thinks they're all lazy. Yeah, I like that, so it just resonates with them as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, that's the same with that national service thing with Rishi Sunak. I mean, that's clearly just targeting people with that bias,
with that mentality. Yeah, exactly. Thinking that kids are. I mean, I think there's some truth in it. Absolutely. I just think it's drastic ideas is what they're doing. Is all to deal with the fact that. Yeah, I mean, I'll agree. Kids are lazy.
It's just pandering. That's what they're doing. They're pandering to their base.
I still think they're capable. It's just not as capable.
What, kids?
Yeah.
You're just getting to an age where you're feeling that because you're not at that age where they are. It's very common amongst people my age to be, down on.
I think there are people. I think there are people my age who aren't capable too. I just think it's a sickest thing. I mean, as a person who worked in the service industry, like not like armed forces. I'm talking like food service industry. I got to see a lot of like families with kids and stuff for multiple years. I mean, over the course of 10 years, and no matter what, the fact that so many of them you would see being brought in. I mean, one family was probably the best example. It was like, I think the kids were maybe anywhere from like 12 to 14 at this point, but I'd seen them coming for 2 years, and they were always just all on their own devices. They weren't even they'd come in as a family on their devices, wouldn't interact with each other at all, and it's like. It's just weird. Yeah. It just feels so disconnected, even though you're all in the same area. You're not even remotely trying to interact with each other at all. And I'm like, how do you? That's not exactly healthy. You know what I mean? No. It's definitely not. And then you wonder like why they might have difficult times socializing with people in real life compared to just doing it online instead and this and that. And it's just tricky. I think you do have to be social with people whether you like it or not. Obviously not all the time. Within reason, but. It's just a necessary skill that you should utilize at times. It's important for growth and capability of life. I think it's just something you should do.
Yeah.
Especially if you're out with your family. I mean, come on.
Well, the thing that annoyed me, I don't know is the right word, but the thing that I remarked on, I found interesting, but in a kind of in an uncomfortable way, is in terms of going out, eat for dinner in the States, particularly when you go to one of these restaurants that's like a Japanese thing where you're all sat around the table and somebody's cooking in front of you, the chef's cooking in front of you.
Oh, like hibachi restaurant.
Yeah,
teppanyaki and stuff.
Yeah, that kind of thing. And always. Because you've got to share with other families, you're meeting with,
that's true, yeah, if they put you on the same table with other people, yeah.
Well, in my experience, always when there was an American family, sitting where there's two smaller kids and two adults, the parents, I found it bizarre, would put the kids on the side near
near other
the
people.
strangers, right? They won't put themselves.
Well, so, yeah, because then they'll distract the other people and they won't bother the parents.
Well,
you know
I don't know whether it was that. I feel like the parents were nervous or just shy themselves rather than because as a father, I've always put myself in the way of when there's strange. I don't want to put my sons.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Who are young kids, and I didn't want them to be worried about sitting and kind of a bit anxious about sitting with complete strangers.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like it was an odd thing for parents to do. Because I thought that's not a very parental.
No, it does feel like. I mean, I'm not going to say you're putting your kids at risk, but
No, but you're making your kids uncomfortable rather than yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I think parental is the right way to think about it. You kind of protecting your kids in a way from an uncomfortable situation or anxiety and stuff. Yeah, it totally makes sense. I would feel the same. Yeah. Not that I have kids of my own, but I do feel like even with other people, because I know people with like social anxiety and stuff like that. Like I don't mind putting myself in an uncomfortable situation because I can deal with it. It doesn't really bother me, kind of stuff, compared to putting somebody else in it. I'm like, oh, I don't mind. I'll sit with the random fuckers. I don't really care. Because usually I don't have to interact with them. But if I do, I'll probably have something to talk about, and then we'll just get on, and that'll be it. Yeah. Keep it civil. Doesn't matter. You just do what you do.
Well, that's just a random thing. It happens more than once. That's otherwise you wouldn't have remarked on it.
Or
2 or 3 times.
Or what about whenever you go out and parents like just let the kids run wild, like no discipline, no control, no nothing. It's just I think that's just bad.
It's not acceptable.
Yeah, because I remember
don't be doing it.
No, exactly, for real. You got to keep an eye on your kids. You got to I mean, yeah, obviously they might make noise, they might do this and that. Okay, that's fair. You do what you can to entertain them or to keep them calm and stuff. But if they're running around the place and you're not doing anything even remotely stop them or reprimand them, I'm like, that's just bad. That's just bad. Because then they could just go to any other table and then fuck around and spit on other people and stuff. I'm like, you don't control your kids. That's bad.
Yeah, stop the spitting. When I was at a friend's house, a girl that I was working with, and me and your mum and you and Adam were visiting, and I don't know, you just both playing up, doing something. Either were
as kids do.
You're doing a kids thing, and I just grabbed you both. So in the car, and you came in the car. I had a word with you both, and just a stern word saying, we're not going to be doing this, blah, blah, blah. Can't remember what I said, but we went back and you were both perfectly quiet. And my friend was going, what did you do? What did you say? No, we just had a quiet conversation. That's funny.
No, it's just discipline. That's all it is.
Yeah, you got a responsibility as a parent.
Exactly.
Especially around other people. It's like it shouldn't be,
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's kind of a representation of yourself as well. So it's all important. It's all important. Respect and discipline. It's all important.
Of course, it shouldn't be imposing your children on other people if they're bad behaviour. Yeah, it does absolutely reflect on you, and it's your responsibility to deal with it.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, obviously certain little things will happen, like accidental noises, somebody gets hurt or something. Yeah, obviously you can't control 100% of it, but you can control a level of it, And I think that's yet again, it's a reflection of parenting, and it's just important. It's important to do.
It is. Right. Well, this is the 5th one, I think.
I think so. It might be our last one.
I've had one of each, plus then an extra toxic tonic.
Extra toxic.
Not an extra toxic, because it's not toxic, because it's not alcohol. There's no toxins in it.
No. It's been a pleasant little time, I got to say. Yeah. But I'd definitely say you got to get through the first 2 to really kind of have it start having any kind of an effect on you. Yeah. I could be wrong. Maybe other people it'll be different, but I'd say for me, once I finished the second one, then I started really kind of noticing any kind of a buzz. Yeah. And now it's just jolly. It's just nice.
I think it'd be the same for me with normal alcohol as well. I think you'd have to have a couple before I start to really feel it. I can't really speak to. I'm not often being out just drinking spirits and mixers, but even with beer, I mean, after I sometimes feel the effects after the first pint, but certainly after the second pint, I'm always wanting to drink more.
Oh yeah.
And that effect kicks in after the second pint, and usually they can't. And that's part of the usually can't. You're really getting merry.
Yeah, and you just want to keep that feeling, and I think that's part of it, isn't it? It's not exactly addiction, but it's just like when you feel something really good, you want to keep feeling that. I suppose the same with I'm going to say gambling, which is an addiction, so I probably shouldn't say that. Yeah. But I guess that's probably in a similar sense for people who smoke cigarettes and stuff. Once you you kind of just keep wanting that exhilarating feeling of it. But at least with drinking, it's like if you do keep drinking, you do tend to keep feeling that way, but you just get drunker and obviously can get sloppy and stuff.
Yep. Well, it gets more and more the longer you drink alcohol, you just get more out of control.
It's very true.
It's kind of fun when you're in that ride.
Yeah. It can be fun, but it can also be bad. Yeah.
But your inhibitions tend to be dropping away, and that's always it's kind of a freeing effect.
Yeah.
But eventually at some point it just becomes not fun, especially when you start having a
drink responsibly.
Yeah. Or not at all.
Or not at all. Yeah. Or this. I gotta say, as an alternative, I like it. And it not really any more expensive than typical bottled spirits, so no, I have nothing bad to say about it. It's been a pretty nice little time.
Yeah.
Centia, how about that? Not sponsored. I have to make sure I say that because otherwise people will think this is sponsorship. We're not.
It's a bit like
they're not paying us.
Yeah.
I had to buy this because I was really curious and interested, and that's why we're doing this.
Yeah, it's not a sponsorship.
No.
Sponsorship. I must be drunk.
Although we're open.
Yeah.
We're open to negotiations.
Yeah.
I think it's important to just put that there.
Yeah, Centia, if you're listening.
Or anybody.
Yeah. Or anybody else who wants us to do a little,
Yeah, if you want to throw money at us and we'll try weird different products, we'll do it.
Yeah. And you know what that's going to turn into? We're going to get really stupid mental things.
Well, yeah, but if they're paying us, I mean, I'm willing to do stuff for money.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Yeah.
To an extent, obviously.
We'll have to put
negotiations, I'm willing to negotiate.
Put a proviso in there. We'll decide whether it's just a bit too insane.
Well, exactly. That's why I'm open to negotiations.
Yeah.
Contact me via email. We'll do negotiations. That's allowed. I'll work with that. But we have the right to refuse. So.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. No, I think it's turned out great.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling a bit of a buzz.
Yeah.
A bit of a buzz. I'm feeling drunk, but I'm feeling...
Yeah. I'm the same. I'm definitely feeling a buzz. I'm not drunk, but I'm definitely I'm feeling good. I'm feeling jolly, like as though I were drinking. But I don't feel as shitty. Because I know if I have like 4 or 5 beers, like I'll start feeling kind of full, and the nausea can kind of start. It doesn't tend to until I've had like 5+, and then a couple hours later, then I really feel it. But I don't think I'm going to have that here because it's just light spirits and stuff.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
I think I'll be gassy because there's a lot of gas in the mixers, but
yeah, that's exactly.
It's a small problem. Problem, I think. It's not gonna affect me in a negative way. No. I'm just excited. We'll have to report on how we're feeling tomorrow.
Exactly. Because if I was hungover, it'd be probably mid-afternoon tomorrow.
That'll be maybe the second half of this video, or it might be a part 2. Haven't decided yet. We'll see how long this goes on for. So, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you for how we're feeling very soon. Oh my God! Get that stretch in. I don't know if you can hear that siren. What a day. So, it may or may not be obvious, but it's not the next day after the Gaba experience. But I do know how everything went for us the next day. So we did not have a hangover, at least not in a traditional sense, right? We didn't have any nausea, we didn't have any headaches, we didn't have any feelings of lethargicness. I mean, to be honest, it was honestly quite a pleasant experience. And I mean, the fact you can make a big variety of the cocktails. I mean, literally, if you go on their page, I'll pop a link in the description, and you go to the mixology. There's tons of recipes, tons of cocktails that you could do, and I'm sure there's probably even more than that based on flavor profiles and stuff. But honestly, it was a great experience, and I'm really glad we decided to do it because yet again, I like the idea of trying new things. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, and obviously this kind of ticked a lot of boxes for us. And it turns out there is quite a lot of science behind Gaba, and this isn't just like the first time this has ever been looked into or anything. But it's an incredible thing that they were able to make that mimics like the capability of social drinking, for example, which could, I'm not going to say it's immediately going to revolutionize the industry. Obviously, it's got to get itself up off the ground and maybe start selling itself in stores and things like that, which I believe they are doing. I'm quite sure they're doing. I don't think you'll find it in a lot of traditional places at the moment, like supermarkets and things like that, but give it enough time and you never know. because I think it's a good idea as an alternative for alcohol. Because I mean, you've got alcohol free. Don't get me wrong. I think that's a good idea too. But that's obviously meant to 100% be a replacement for alcohol. Whereas Sentia, I feel like it is a replacement, but it isn't an alcohol at all or had any level of alcohol in the process. It's a food supplement, which is probably a lot more appealing to a lot of people. It's vegan, gluten free. There's a lot of things about it that I think are gonna do really well for it. I honestly do, and I've still got those bottles left over, and every once in a while I'll have myself a little drink. Usually just kind of like a little wind down at the end of a day, and I gotta admit, it's still nice. Even just one or two, I don't have to go crazy, but it just relaxes. It's just nice. I don't feel like I'm drunk or tipsy or anything. Like you do have to have a few to really kind of start mimicking the effects properly, depending on how much you drink anyway. I'm more of a high grav drinker, which is why that's the case for me. But you know, it is what it is, and it's I've not noticed any detrimental effects. I haven't noticed that I'm in a slump or a haze or nauseous. I've not had anything that really tells me that, oh hey, this is having an effect on me in a negative way. I haven't had that. Now, I mean, long term, could that be a thing? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know the full on research behind it. I don't know all the notes, all the I don't know anything else. Just based on what I've shown you from the website. They've also linked it to Gaba Lab, so you can see a lot more of their information there. Which I've given it a glance. I'll be honest, I haven't fully gone through it because I just don't really have enough time when I'm making videos. There's a lot of other things I've got to be doing. But I'd say overall a very pleasant experience, and I'm really glad I got to share it with my dad, especially because if anything, it kind of helps open up the eyes of other people. You know what I mean? Because I mean, he'll try anything once anyway, so it's not like he was the hardest to convince. But we've had a fantastic time with this. I sure hope you've enjoyed our ridiculous rambling, just like we were if we were sober or drinking. Pretty normal, really, pretty normal. Honestly, though, a great time, and I'll probably buy more in the future if I'm totally honest with you. I've still got to finish these two anyway, but I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, it's good alternative. Good alternative in my opinion. This has been Dad and Lad. Just having a little something different. Kind of a podcast, not exactly a podcast, just kind of a trying things out on the Nate at Night channel. Yeah. So I've had a great time. I know my dad has too, and we sure hope you've enjoyed. Let us know what you want us to cover next. We're trying to do the wall crawl, the York Roman wall, trying to cover some history about that and get a bit of video and everything. And I think that'll be pretty cool. Not a full on like walk around video. I think it's more just like get some snippets, talk about the history, talk about places you can stop off at the gates. There's a lot of cool Roman and Viking history behind all this. Is really fascinating, and it's still one of the most intact Roman walls in history, which is incredible. Probably also going to look at a Cold War bunker that's near us because that's incredibly impressive. Yeah, I'd like to maybe do some kind of ghosty activities, hunting ghosts and stuff, but I think it's a bit trickier to get into, you know. But there is a cool ghost bus that we're looking into. We might try to do a bit of that. Yeah, let us know what other kinds of things you'd like us to cover, to try, to delve into. You know, we're open for options. You know, open for options. Thank you all so much for the love and support. We'll see you for whatever's next. Take care.